She texted, "I pawned your Rolex to pay for my student loan payment. You can buy another one. The watch my deceased father left me." I replied, "Thanks for letting me know." Then I filed a police report for grand theft. When the detectives arrested her at her mother's birthday dinner. Original post: I, 35 male, got the text at 11:23 a.m. on a Thursday while I was in a meeting. My girlfriend Natalie, 32, and I had been together for 2.5 years, living together for the last 8 months in my condo. The full text read, "Hey babe, just FYI, I pawned that old Rolex from your dresser to make my student loan payment. Was gonna default otherwise. You make good money, you can just buy another one. Love you." I stared at my phone, read it 3 times. That old Rolex was a 1971 Submariner my dad wore every day until cancer took him 18 months ago. His final gift to me. The last thing he ever gave me. I excused myself from the meeting, walked to the bathroom, and sat in a stall, just processing. Then I typed back, "Thanks for letting me know." She responded with heart emojis and, "Knew you'd understand, babe. You're the best." I didn't respond. Instead, I called my lawyer friend Derek. She pawned my dad's watch without permission. That's theft, right? How much is it worth? About $12,000 market value. That's grand theft. Felony territory. You sure you want to go there? She knew what that watch meant to me. Then document everything. Screenshot the texts. File a police report immediately. I went back to my meeting, somehow got through it, then drove straight to the police station. The officer taking my report looked sympathetic. "She admitted to it in writing?" "Yeah." I showed him the texts. "And she doesn't own the watch? Not a gift to her?" "Never. It was my father's. She knew exactly what it was." "We'll assign a detective. With that value and her confession, this should be straightforward." That evening, Natalie came home like nothing happened. Kissed me hello, started talking about weekend plans. "How was your day?" she asked, unpacking groceries she'd bought with my credit card, as usual. "Interesting. Yours?" "Good. That loan payment stress is finally gone. We should celebrate." Like she'd contributed anything to our finances in 2 years. "Sure, let's celebrate this weekend." She beamed and started making dinner. I sat there watching her, this woman who'd stolen the most precious thing I owned, and thought heart emojis made it okay. Update 1. 2 days later. Detective Morrison called Friday afternoon. Professional, thorough. "Mr. Turner, we've confirmed the pawn transaction. The shop has the watch, and they've placed a hold on it. The paperwork shows your girlfriend's signature. She used her ID, received $3,200. The watch is worth $12,000. Pawn shops. But here's the thing, she told them it was hers. That's fraud on top of the theft. We have enough for an arrest warrant." "When?" "We'd like to move quickly before she knows you've involved law enforcement." "Does she have any travel plans?" I almost laughed. "Actually, her mother's 60th birthday dinner is tomorrow night. Big family thing at Rosewood Restaurant." There was a pause. "That would certainly ensure she's located. 7 p.m., reservation under her mother's name, Gloria Hutchins. We'll handle it discreetly, Mr. Turner." That night, Natalie modeled the dress she'd bought for the dinner. With my credit card, naturally. "How do I look?" "Beautiful," I said honestly. She did. Beautiful, entitled, and completely oblivious. "You're still coming, right? Mom really wants you there. Wouldn't miss it." Saturday, I got ready normally. Natalie fussed over her hair, her makeup, everything perfect for Mommy's big day. We drove separately. I claimed a work call might run late. I arrived at 7:15. The family was all there. Gloria, Natalie's sister Bethany, her brother Anthony, aunts, uncles, cousins. About 20 people at a long table. Natalie waved me over, patting the seat next to her. "You made it. Told you I would." The appetizers had just arrived when I saw Detective Morrison and a female officer enter the restaurant. They spoke briefly to the host, who pointed toward our table. Natalie was laughing at something Anthony said when they approached. "Natalie Hutchins?" She looked up confused. "Yes? I'm Detective Morrison. You're under arrest for grand theft and fraud. Please stand up." The table went silent. Forks stopped moving. Gloria's mouth fell open. "What? This is a joke, right?" Natalie looked at me. "Babe, what's happening?" "You stole my father's watch," I said quietly. "You pawned it without permission." But I told you." "You said you understood." I said, "Thanks for letting me know." Then I filed a police report. Detective Morrison had her stand. Ma'am, please put your hands behind your back. Are you serious right now? Over a watch? Babe, tell them to stop. That watch was my father's. You knew what it meant to me. The cuffs clicked. The entire restaurant was staring. Gloria stood up, shaking. What is happening? Someone explain. Your daughter stole a $12,000 watch from me and pawned it, I said. She confessed via text. Bethany gasped. Natalie, you didn't? It was just sitting there. He never wore it. I needed the money. You needed the money? I stood up. You haven't paid a single bill in 2.5 years. I cover your car payment, insurance, food, shopping, everything, and you steal the one thing I can't replace? Anthony looked disgusted. Jesus, Nat. As they let her out, Natalie turned back, tears streaming. I can't believe you're doing this to me, at my mother's birthday. I can't believe you stole my dead father's watch and thought it was fine. Gloria approached me, trembling. Surely we can work this out without this scene. She committed a felony, Gloria. She confessed to it. There's nothing to work out. But pressing charges? She's your girlfriend. Was. She was my girlfriend until she decided my father's memory was worth $3,000 to her. I left. The last thing I heard was Bethany saying, I told you she was getting too comfortable with his money. Update 2. The aftermath begins. Natalie got released on bail Sunday morning. Gloria paid the $5,000. I knew because Natalie showed up at my condo at noon, Gloria and Anthony in tow. I watched them through my Ring camera. Natalie tried her key. Didn't work. I'd changed the lock Saturday night. She knocked, then pounded. Tyler, open this door right now, I answered through the speaker. You need to leave. I live here. No, you crash here rent-free. Your name's not on the deed or any lease. You're trespassing. Gloria stepped forward. Tyler, please, let's discuss this like adults. Your adult daughter stole from me. We can discuss it through lawyers. Anthony, surprisingly, pulled at his mom's arm. Let's go. He's right. You're seriously taking his side? Natalie shrieked at her brother. You stole a $12,000 watch, Nat. What did you expect? It's just a watch. That's when I opened the door, still chained. It was my father's watch. The man who taught me to ride a bike, who worked 3 jobs to put me through college, who held my hand while he died. That watch was on his wrist for 40 years. But sure, just a watch. Natalie actually rolled her eyes. God, so dramatic. Your dad's gone, Tyler. He doesn't need it anymore. Even Gloria gasped at that. Anthony closed his eyes like he was in physical pain. Wow. I said, thank you for confirming I made the right choice. Your stuff is in boxes in the storage unit downstairs. Unit 12. Here's the key. I tossed it through the gap. Take it and don't come back. You can't just throw me out. I can, and I am. You have 1 hour to get your things. Gloria tried once more. If we pay you back for the watch, it's not about money. She took something irreplaceable and pawned it like garbage. Then had the audacity to tell me to just buy another one. We're done here. Natalie was full on crying now. Where am I supposed to go? Not my problem anymore. I closed the door. Update 3, Monday morning escalation. Monday, 8 a.m., I got a call from my credit card company. Mr. Turner, we're calling about several unusual charges on your account. My stomach dropped. How many? Approximately $4,300 in the last 48 hours. High-end retailers, electronics, jewelry stores. Of course. Natalie still had my credit card number memorized. Cancel the card immediately. Those are fraudulent. We'll send you the dispute forms. I screenshot every transaction. Then I called Detective Morrison. She's adding credit card fraud to her charges? Appears so. Email me the evidence. Then came the social media campaign. Natalie posted a sob story about her abusive ex who had her arrested for borrowing something and was now making her homeless. She claimed I was controlling, manipulative, that I'd isolated her from friends and family. Her friends ate it up. My Instagram and Facebook inboxes filled with messages calling me heartless, abusive, pathetic. Someone found my LinkedIn and messaged my company saying they employed an abuser. I didn't respond to any of it. Instead, I posted one thing. Since there seems to be confusion, my ex-girlfriend stole my deceased father's Rolex and pawned it without permission. When confronted, she said I should just buy another one. I filed a police report for grand theft. She's now also committed credit card fraud. I have receipts for everything. I attached her original text and the pawn shop receipt. The tide turned quickly. Half her friends deleted their messages. Others doubled down, saying I was cruel for involving police. Then Bethany commented, "Natalie, just stop. You know what you did was wrong. Mom and Dad have been enabling you for years, and now you're facing consequences. Tyler, I'm sorry about your father's watch." Natalie called from Gloria's phone an hour later, screaming, "How dare you turn my family against me?" "I didn't. You did that yourself. Bethany is supposed to support me. Maybe she's tired of watching you use people." "I didn't use you. I loved you. You loved my wallet. There's a difference. You're going to regret this. I'll make sure everyone knows what kind of person you really are." "Good luck with that. I have your confession in writing." She hung up. That afternoon, my company's HR called. They'd received an email from Gloria claiming I was harassing her daughter and creating a hostile situation. She demanded they take action. My manager, James, was cool about it. I showed him everything: the texts, the police report, the credit card fraud. "Jesus, Tyler, your ex is psycho." "Yeah, learning that the hard way. We'll handle this. Don't worry about your job." Update 4. The courtroom drama. 2 months later, we're in court for the preliminary hearing. Natalie showed up in a conservative suit, trying to look innocent. Gloria, Bethany, and Anthony were there. I noticed Natalie's dad, Robert, wasn't. Turned out he was done with her drama. The prosecutor laid out the case: the text confession, the pawn shop records, the credit card fraud. Natalie's lawyer, some overworked public defender, tried arguing it was a misunderstanding between romantic partners. The judge actually laughed. "Counselor, she literally texted him that she took and pawned his property. Where's the misunderstanding? My client believed she had implicit permission." "Did she ask?" "No, Your Honor, but..." "Then she didn't have permission." This proceeds to trial. During a recess, Gloria cornered me in the hallway. "Please, Tyler, she's facing prison time. Felony charges will ruin her life." "She ruined it herself. She's getting help. Therapy. She knows she was wrong." "No, she knows she got caught." Robert appeared from nowhere. I hadn't seen him enter. "Gloria, stop. The girl needs to face consequences for once in her life." "Robert, she's our daughter, and we created this monster by never saying no to her." "Tyler, I'm sorry about your father's watch. That was despicable." Natalie saw her dad and rushed over. "Daddy, please tell him to drop the charges." Robert looked at her sadly. "I paid for law school you dropped out of, business school you dropped out of, covered your rent until you moved in with Tyler. When does it end, Natalie? So you're abandoning me too? I'm letting you face the consequences of your actions. Maybe you'll finally grow up." The trial was set for 3 months out. Natalie was offered a plea deal: 1 year prison, 2 years probation, full restitution. Her lawyer advised taking it. Update 5. The unraveling. While awaiting trial, Natalie spiraled. According to Anthony, who reached out to apologize for his sister, she was bouncing between Gloria's house and friends' couches. Nobody wanted her long term. She got a job at a clothing store. Lasted 2 weeks before being fired for stealing inventory. Apparently, she felt underpaid and decided to compensate herself. That triggered a violation of her bail conditions. Back to court. The judge was not amused. "Miss Hutchins, you're facing felony theft charges and you commit another theft?" "It was just a few shirts, Your Honor." Theft is theft. Bail is revoked. Natalie spent the next 2 months in county jail awaiting trial. Gloria called me crying. "She's in jail, Tyler. Actual jail. Are you happy now?" "I'm indifferent, Gloria. She made her choices. How can you be so cold? How can you still be enabling her? She's 32 years old." The trial finally came. The prosecutor presented everything methodically. The texts, the pawn records, the credit card fraud. Character witnesses testified about the watch's significance. My uncle talked about how my dad wore it every day for 40 years, how he'd specifically wanted me to have it. Natalie's defense was basically that she didn't think I'd mind, that I was overreacting, that couples share property. The prosecutor destroyed that. "Miss Hutchins, did you ask Mr. Turner before taking the watch?" "No, but did you tell him before pawning it?" "I told him after." "So you took it secretly, pawned it secretly, then informed him after the fact?" "When you put it like that, how would you put it?" "I needed the money." "So you stole." "It wasn't stealing. Taking someone's property without permission is literally the definition of stealing." The jury deliberated for 2 hours, guilty on all counts. Update 6. Sentencing and consequences. Sentencing was brutal. The judge considered the violation of bail, the additional theft, the complete lack of a remorse. Miss Hutchins, you've shown a pattern of entitlement and disregard for others' property. You stole a family heirloom, showed no genuine remorse, committed additional crimes while on bail, and throughout these proceedings, you've blamed everyone but yourself. 18 months in state prison, 3 years probation. Full restitution of $12,000, plus the $4,300 in credit card fraud. Natalie collapsed. Gloria wailed. Robert sat stone-faced. Anthony just shook his head. Bethany wasn't even there. She'd washed her hands of the situation. As they led Natalie away in cuffs, she looked at me one last time. I hope you're happy. You destroyed my life over a stupid watch. I didn't respond. There was nothing to say. Gloria followed me out. She loved you, you know. No, Gloria, she loved what I provided. There's a difference. You could have just talked to her. I could have, but she could have not stolen from me. She made the first choice. Update 7. The aftermath. It's been 6 months since sentencing. I got the watch back from the pawn shop after the trial. Cost me the $3,200 Natalie got for it, plus interest and fees. Almost $4,000 to recover my own property. Worth every penny to have it back. Natalie's in minimum security women's prison. Gloria writes me letters, still trying to guilt me into asking for early release. I don't respond. Anthony reached out last month. We actually grabbed a beer. I'm sorry about all this, man. Natalie, she's always been like this. Taking what she wants, expecting others to clean up her messes. Sounds like you've dealt with it longer than me. My whole life. She stole my bike when I was 10 and sold it for concert tickets. Told me I was too old for it anyway. And your parents did nothing? Mom made excuses. Dad was always working. Classic dynamic. You turned out okay, though. Because I saw what not to do. Bethany sent me a message on Facebook. I know this might be weird, but thank you. Natalie needed this wake-up call. Maybe she'll finally learn. Also, I'm sorry about your dad's watch. That was unforgivable. Robert divorced Gloria. Apparently, this was the last straw in a long line of enabling behavior he couldn't watch anymore. Gloria blames me for that too. I'm doing okay. Still processing the betrayal, the entitlement, the complete lack of empathy she showed. My therapist says I handled it well, though. Stood my ground. Didn't let guilt make me cave. Started dating someone new. Rachel. She actually gasped when I told her the story. She pawned your dad's watch and thought that was okay? Yeah. Said I could buy another one. That's sociopathic. That's Natalie. Rachel wears a Timex. Pays her own bills. Asks before borrowing my phone charger. The bar's underground, but she clears it easily. Got a letter from Natalie last week. First one she sent. It was exactly what you'd expect. Tyler, I've had time to think in here. What you did was wrong. Yes, I shouldn't have taken the watch without asking. But involving the police? Sending me to prison? That was too far. You destroyed my life over an object your dad doesn't even need anymore. I'm suffering in here while you're living your life. Is that justice to you? Your dad would be ashamed of how cruel you've become. I made one mistake and you ruined everything. When I get out, I'll have nothing. No job prospects with a felony, no home, no future. I hope you're satisfied. Despite everything, I forgive you. Maybe someday you'll realize what you've done and forgive yourself. Natalie. Still no actual apology. Still no acknowledgement of the betrayal. Still positioning herself as the victim. I didn't respond. But I did take a photo of me wearing my dad's watch and post it on Instagram with the caption, "Some things are irreplaceable. Garden carefully." Bethany liked it. Anthony commented, "Your dad would be proud of you for standing up for yourself." He's right. Dad always said I was too much of a pushover, too willing to let people walk over me. Well, not anymore. The watch sits in a safety deposit box now when I'm not wearing it for special occasions. Every time I look at it, I remember my dad. And I remember the lesson Natalie inadvertently taught me. When someone shows you who they are through their actions, believe them. When someone steals from you and says you can just buy another one, they're telling you everything you need to know about their character. Final update. It's been a year since the arrest. Natalie got out last month. Early release for good behavior. She served 8 months. Gloria immediately started a campaign to get me to hire Natalie, give her money, help her get back on her feet. I blocked her on everything. Then Natalie showed up at my office building. Security called me. "There's a Natalie Hutchins here, says she needs to speak with you urgently. Tell her if she doesn't leave immediately, I'll call the police for violation of probation. She's not allowed to contact me." She left, but not before telling security I was heartless and had ruined an innocent woman's life. Anthony texted me that night. "She's staying with Mom. Already complaining about having to follow probation rules. Some people never learn." Last week I found out through Bethany that Natalie got arrested again. She stole money from her probation-mandated job at a restaurant. Apparently felt she deserved more than minimum wage, so she helped herself to the till. She's going back to prison. Longer this time. Probation violation plus new charges. Gloria called from a blocked number, hysterical. "This is your fault. If you hadn't started this, she wouldn't be in this situation. Gloria, she stole from me, then stole while on bail, then stole while on probation. That's a pattern, not a mistake. She was desperate. She was entitled. There's a difference. You're evil. I'm done. Don't contact me again." I hung up and immediately filed for a restraining order against Gloria too. Enough is enough. Rachel and I are moving in together next month. She insisted on showing me her credit report and bank statements first. I want everything transparent, no surprises. You don't have to. After what you went through? Yes, I do. Trust but verify, right? She's the opposite of Natalie in every way. Responsible, empathetic, independent. She saw my dad's watch and immediately understood its value wasn't monetary. It's beautiful. The scratches and wear, that's your dad's life on that watch. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you got it back. Me too. Robert reached out recently. We had coffee. I failed her, he said quietly. Gave her everything, never made her earn anything. Now she's in prison because she never learned actions have consequences. You can't blame yourself entirely. Can't I? Every time she stole or lied as a kid, Gloria made excuses, and I just worked more. Avoided the conflict. Now look where we are. She's an adult. Her choices are her own. True, but we shaped the adult she became. You did the right thing, Tyler. Maybe if someone had done it sooner. He didn't finish. Didn't need to. Life's good now. Peaceful. Drama-free. The watch sits in my safety deposit box except for special occasions. My dad's birthday, Father's Day, the anniversary of his death. When I wear it, I think about him. His work ethic, his integrity, his refusal to let anyone take advantage of him. He'd be proud I didn't let Natalie get away with it. Proud I stood my ground. Proud I protected what he left me. Sometimes the best revenge isn't elaborate. It's just refusing to be a victim. It's saying no and meaning it. It's letting someone face the consequences they earned. Natalie thought she could take what was mine because I'd always given her everything else. She thought wrong. And she's paying for that miscalculation. That's not cruel, that's justice. The watch ticks on, keeping perfect time, just like it did on my father's wrist for 40 years. It'll tick on my wrist too, and someday my son's. Because some things are meant to be preserved, protected, and passed on, and some people are meant to be left behind.